types will react differently depending on what you say and how you say it, even though tonality needs to be right when you're communicating with certain personality types. How do you get them to do what you want them to do, right? It's almost like the art of manipulation, okay? And it's not just for our customers, right? It works for mortgage, it works for title. It's how do we motivate this person to want to do business with us? And what I'm going to show you guys today, when you understand personality types, because I've gotten brought in by title companies, mortgage companies, how can we do more business with realtors? How can we gain that loyalty? It's tough, they're not loyal sometimes. How do we gain that loyalty? And I said, you got to know how to motivate them. Everybody's motivated differently. Some are motivated by bright, shiny objects. Some are motivated by long-term relationship results of what you and what combined can be brought to the table. So it comes down to he or she who communicates the best wins all the prizes, right? Because here's the thing, when people buy with you, have you ever had them say this? Shuey, have you ever had somebody say, you know what, there's a lot of title companies I could work with, but brother, when I sit and I talk with you and we have a conversation, man, I don't know, brother, it just feels right. It feels like you're the guy I should be doing business with. You ever had anybody say that to you? I don't know, brother, it just feels right. It just feels right that I'm going with you. Well, here's the thing. There is no feels right. It's how you communicated with them and your connection level that you have with them. So that's what we're going to be going over today, is how to identify the personality type that you're dealing with and to know their hot buttons, okay? Shuey's a D personality type, okay? I think when he does his test, he's going to test DC. I think when Kevin tests, Kevin's going to either test DC or DIC. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But I think you're going to test C. When I say DIC, everybody's like, he's going to kill that little man right now. But we're going to be talking mainly about DISC, D-I-S-C. D's are dominant, I's are inspiring, S's are supportive in nature, while C's are very controlled in their thought process. So we're going to talk about this. We're also going to touch on some other areas of education when it comes to personality profiles. How many guys were psychology majors in college? I was a psych major. I actually wanted to be a psychiatrist. Could you imagine, Kevin, me as a psychiatrist? I could sit down on the couch next to you and say, all right, man, tell me about your problems. And then I can look at you and say, man, you should just drink more. I'm kidding. Let me give you a prescription. It's all good. So, what we're going to do is you're going to fill out a personality profile test. But here's the important thing about the test. It's only as accurate as the honesty you put into the test. So, here's the thing. A lot of you guys, raise your hand if you're working on making some changes to your personal self. All of us, right? We're always working on making changes to our personal self. Okay? Me, my personality type, I'm an ID. It means I like to have fun and I want to control the fun we have. Okay? C is my least, which is controlled, right? So I'm always working on developing my C tendencies so that I can grow as an individual and a professional. Now, when you're filling out this test, I don't want you to put things that you're working on. So if it says frequently late for appointments, if you know your natural tendency is frequently late for appointments, put the real answer, not, well, you know, normally it would be this, but, you know, I'm going to go because I've been working on that, so I'm going to answer it differently because I've been working. No, that's not a true sense of who you are. I'm looking for a true sense of who you are on a subconscious level without making any conscious efforts to change it. Regardless, good, bad, or indifferent, I want to know the real you. Because here's the thing, if we know the real you, we'll know your dominance, we'll know who you have the easiest time to communicate with, and who's going to be your challenge client. My challenge client is a C. That's your engineer. I have had a C ask me, in a house, how deep is the tub? I did this. It's up to here. See, my C's didn't laugh. All my eyes thought it was funny, but Dorian was like, well, you know, that's a valid question. How deep the tub was. And my eyes were saying, you thought it was funny. You're like, that's funny stuff, man. He said, what's the GPM? What's the GPM? I was like, you mean the insulation factor? He said, gallons per minute.
Mhm.
And I went, oh, well, why would you want to know that for? Seems like an odd question, right? But to a C, not an odd question. And it's funny, I'm looking at all the C's in the room, and you're all looking at me going, that's a valid question. What was the GPM? He said he had bad water pressure. He wanted to know what the gallons per minute, so he knew what the water pressure was. See, your least personality type is the one that's going to cause you the most stress in your business, right? Because you're going to think, why are they asking that? Okay? So I want you to learn about yourselves, and what I'm going to show you today is going to improve in your marriages or relationships, whatever you're in. Okay? Don't bring your spouse to these classes. It screws everything up. Okay? I'm telling you. So, because they're like, my wife, when I start taking her down a path, dude, she will look right at me and go, yeah, I'm not one of your students. What are you at? I'm like, okay, I want a new car. She's like, why are we talking about living room furniture? I'm like, because I know you want living room furniture. I want a new car. Give you what you want so I can get what I want, right? So, here's what we're going to do. On this test, and I know it's printed a little small, okay? On this test, you'll see there are 4 sections. Now, the bottom section kind of carries up to the top a little bit. Okay, you guys see that? Bottom section here carries up to the top. So when you go through this, again, honest, who you really are now without making a change. And what I'm looking for is, you've got to rate each item. So if you look at mathematical, if you're naturally good at math, 4 would mean, wow, that's really fits you. 1 would mean no way near you, okay? So if you're not good at math and you suck at numbers, it would be a 1. If you're great at math, you're a natural math person, it's a 4. If you're somewhere in the middle, it could be a 2 or a 3, okay? What I want you to do is go down each one, mathematical, analytical, perfectionist, methodical. 4 is most like you, 1 is least like you. Find where you fit in that range, okay? I want you to go through the whole test. Now, once you finish it, add up your numbers for each section, okay? Just add them up. And then we're going to find out where your top numbers were, identify what's your dominant, and then we'll look at what's your least. That's going to be your challenge client, and we're going to work from there. All right? It'll take you about 10 minutes to do that.